Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Fred and Friends. I'm your host, Fred Schultz, and I got another pretty cool show for you guys tonight. Real quick, I got to say hi to Stephen Snow and Kenny Stewart, General Paintball Museum, and Paul Farrell. These guys jump right on instantly and start commenting. When I say I've got the best audience, I believe in the podcast area. I think I've got the greatest people to watch this show. They're nothing short of terrific, and I am so appreciative of all of them. But tonight, guys, I've got some pretty cool things going on. Everybody loves big games. Okay, I love big games. Outstanding. I played tournaments for years and years and years, and I've also played big games. And tournaments were fun, but they were more like a business. Big games was just meeting a lot of brand new people, having a great time, and just go out and shoot and paint. It's absolutely cool. And tonight you're going to meet two very, very cool guys. Now, the past few weeks I've been talking about this. It's a game. It's going to, you ready? It's North Carolina versus Virginia. Hello. Very cool, huh? State against state. And I have got the two generals on here tonight, man. And I cannot wait to bring these guys up. I hope I don't butcher their names. But I've got Scott Senzo and John Hoffmeister. Now, I probably blew it because, it took me years just to pronounce my own name. But anyhow, you're going to like these guys. I got to talk to them in the green room, and they're very, very impressionable. And I can see why Mr. Tim Grinstead. Now, Tim is the guy that actually owns Splat Brothers in Hopewell, Virginia. He asked me, he goes, is there any way possible to put these generals on and talk to them? And I'm like, absolutely. And now I just got to talk to them a little bit in the green room. And I think you guys are going to like them as much as I do. One thing that I stress all the time is the good people we all need to push in paintball. If you support all the good people, the bad people eventually fade away. And boom, what do you got? Nothing but good people. That's what we're trying to do here. Then I've got something else that we're going to do a little bit. It's a little bit different tonight, but I'm going to bring her on also with all of these guys. And I'm probably going to butcher your name too, Jody. Jody Ewer Mahoney. Now, I got Mahoney right. I got that. And Jody, I got that pretty good too. So the middle one I might have blown, but we'll find out more when I get her on. It's like my wife. If I blow anything, she critiques me afterwards. I never watch my shows after I'm done. When I'm done with them, I'm done with them. My wife watches them, and then she tells me, you blew this. Oh, you should have did this. I'm like, all right. So obviously she tries to make me better. It doesn't work, but she does try very hard. So anyhow, we're going to bring Jody on. Jody is a paintball mom, but she's also big in yoga. Now, when Jody got a hold of me and was asking me if she could be on, I was trying to figure out how I could fit that in, and I made a few calls to a few people, and I got to tell you, she came up, thumbs up. People were very, very happy with her. I understand she's on YouTube, and she does an absolutely a terrific thing. So, yoga is something that, could actually work with paintball. And what we're trying to do now, if we bring in more people into paintball because they like yoga, I'm all for it. And if we bring more people into yoga that play paintball, I'm more for that too. It's all about putting it all together. So anyhow, that's my show tonight, and you guys are going to absolutely love it. I cannot wait to bring them up. But a few things I got to mention real quick and get it out of the way here. Joshua Strata, got to say hi to him, man. Great looking shirt. Thank you. Yeah, Field One. Yep, I shoot Field One barrels. I think that Field One barrels are absolutely excellent, and their electronic marker is fabulous. And the guys that actually own it, Eric Crandall and Alex Frazee, Rosh, these guys are just the best guys in the world. I've known them for a long time. You guys might know them as Dynasty. They've been friends of mine forever. They were actually kids coming out to my field to start with. So I've got a history with these guys, and they don't live too far from me. So yeah, Field One, I'm very proud to wear their shirt. I absolutely love their barrels. If you guys get a chance, their barrels with all the inserts, it's terrific. It absolutely is. So real quick, let me get through this here. The Montressor Classic. Everybody knows that Frank and Jennifer Montressor are very good friends of mine. And the Montressor Classic is coming up, and that's at Paintball Sport in New York, where we just actually had the WCPL New York Classic. and it it was a great time. The fields are fabulous, and the Ponderosa, the field there that I actually played this field 31 years ago too, and I played it last year and this year. And the field is the oldest woods ball field that there is. And it is absolutely cool. And anyhow, that's July 29th through the 31st. And Frank and Jennifer have taken over the reins from their son, Tim, and they have done a great job. I will support them any way that I possibly can. And if you guys get a chance, like I always say, when I mention these things, just like we're going to talk about the big game coming up with Scott and John, if you guys don't, if you can't go play it, but you're in the area, go support it. Go show people, say, hey, I came out to check this out. Because I'm going to tell you, once you check it out and you meet guys like John and you meet guys like Scott, you're going to go, I have got to try this, period. And that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to try it. So anyhow, that's what we're trying to do. And I am just very, very excited tonight about it. And the big game we're talking about is going to be this coming weekend, the 16th to 17th of July. And like I said, it's in Hopewell, Virginia. And the owner is Tim Grimstead. And he's a great guy. He really is. I got to talk to him a little bit. And he's very supportive. And Josh Silverman, which is a very good friend of mine, works for Belkin. He says he's played that field, and he said the field is excellent. And, Tim's a great guy, and Tim has picked these two guys to be captain, and I can see why. And I'm sure you guys are going to see why, too. So let me give my shout-outs real quick. Let me pull Bill up here real quick. What's going on, Billy?
Not much. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, man, I was trying to catch you eating something, but you didn't pick nothing up or drink nothing. So I thought, well, heck, I'm going to put him on anyhow. Hey, we got Bond Chick watching too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she watches every week. I cannot wait to meet that lady. Because, Billy, because you're a band member. The band is, I am so honored to be the captain of the band. It's got just the best guys in the world in it. It's got Bud Orr. It's got Dan Colby. It's got Tom Kay. It's got Rainey Boucher. It's just got the best people in the world. It's got Kenny Stewart from the General Paintball Museum. Yep. And now we are putting together the Bond Girls. So it's going to be an all-girls team. Band Girls. I say Bond. Oh, God, now I got Bond on the mind. Yeah, Band Girls. Right on. That's why I brought John, Bill. Now my wife's going to laugh at me. She's going to watch this later on, and she goes, oh, you blew it. Thank God you had Bill on. And I go, yeah, I know. Bill
That's why I make the big bucks.
Yeah. I love it. So, but yeah, we got a pretty good group tonight. So I'm going to get my shout outs real quick because I'm going to drag these guys out. I want to learn a little bit more about this game. And then I want to learn a little bit about the yoga. Yeah, that's going to be interesting because, everything's got to fit somehow into it. Exercise is a big thing for paintball. Period. And you're talking to a guy that's probably, I broke a lot of bones, and I can't tell you how many muscles I pulled. So I think yoga might be a big thing to maybe do to get the body ready for it. So, and Bond Chick said that is epic. I'm going to actually put it up there instead of trying to say it. So you know what? I think she would be terrific to be a band girl. What do you think, Bill?
Yep. She's a good player.
We got the best captain in the world, man. I mean, we got Tony Rudig, and we've got.
She's one of those people though that goes out. She supports paintball across the United States.
Right.
I've seen her everywhere from Indiana, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Missouri. She's everywhere. So
absolutely right. And Tony, along with Ellen Gee, who just got married. That's going to be her co-captain. So they're going to be pretty formidable next year. So we're putting a team together. We've got our band team together. Now I cannot wait to put the band girls together. That is going to be one cool group. So anyhow, let me give the shout outs real quick, Billy, so we can drag these people out. I want to say hi to Jeff Thompson up there in Canada watching us tonight. Jeff got to play. He hosted with the band in New York a few months ago. And what a heck of a player and what a heck of a person.
Yep.
Him and Martin, boy, they were two great guys. I absolutely loved it. So real quick, I start every week with none other than Mr. Tim Schloss. Now, Tim Schloss had Tiger Stripe back in the day, and there's a new Tiger Stripe coming out. You're going to want, I mean, I've got it over here, but Tim wasn't happy with the color. So anyhow, they're redoing it right now, but there is going to be a new Tiger Stripe coming out. You're going to absolutely love it. And so you want to stay in touch with that. I've had all kinds of people get a hold of me going, "Oh, Freddie, man, it was so cool." And it is cool. And I got it sitting right here. But Tim didn't like the shades of the colors. So anyhow, they're redoing. Well, you know what it is? A lot of it too, Bill, is when it was done before, it was a dye. And now it's on the new type of material and everything like that. It's like a print. Yeah. So anyhow, you know, we got to make Tim happy. And then Tim is going to have the last WCPL this year, and that's going to be at Gateway Paintball in St. Louis. And I got to tell you, that is going to be something cool. It is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to do that. Yeah. So everybody, Mr. Tim Schloss, Gateway Paintball in St. Louis. Heck of a guy, great friend, terrific wife, Terry Schloss. Anyhow,
6 miles from the airport.
6 miles from the airport, 6 minutes. Yeah. Anyhow, and then Dan and John Colby from Immortal Air. Dan and John, I just talked to Dan a little while ago. He called me. We talked for about 45 minutes. Anyhow, they've been my sponsors for over 30 years. Immortal Air now. Back in the day, it was Air America.
Air America.
Yeah, I still got all my Air America stuff. Hey, I got like a clothes factory here, man. I got to tell you, it's amazing sometimes. and then my little buddy from many, many, many years, Mr. Bud Orr. You know, you don't need to say much about Bud. Bud's just a terrific guy. Had War Game Products back in the day, and he plays with the band. He plays on the band with us, and he still is out there rocking and supporting paintball. Absolutely love the guy. He's we call him my big brother. He calls me his little brother. And yeah, you know, that's pretty cool too, because nobody calls me their little brother because I'm so damn old. You know what I mean? I'm like the big brother to everybody. What's that?
There's not too many people older than you, Fred.
I'm telling you, yeah. You know, somebody told me 2 more years and I'll be oil. You know, I don't know what to say. You needed that too, buddy.
Yeah.
And then I got mention Mr. Tom K. Tom K had Airgun Designs back in the day, was my sponsor for many, many years with the Automag. Terrific guy. Rainey and Juvie Boucher. They had paintball news back in the day. Now, a lot of you new guys don't know about this, but back in the day, you could go out to any field 2 times a month and pick up paintball news. And Billy's going to grab one and show you right now. This newspaper, there it is right there. This did not cost the player a penny. All you had to do is go pick it up. It told you what just happened, what was coming up, the teams, where all the fields were located, things for sale. It was absolutely terrific. And I was actually honored to be in that, baby. I was a West Coast editor for a lot of years. So Rainey and Juby Boucher, terrific people. Mr. Randy Camilla, he was the editor for APG back in the day, gave me my very first cover shot on the magazine. Forever grateful to Randy. Terrific guy. Mr. Jerry Braun, what do you got there? What's it say?
It looks like they used your likeness.
Oh, there you go. I thought that was E.T.
Wow. I don't know what that was.
I think that was before E.T.
Yeah.
So Jerry Braun had Paintball Sport back in the day, Paintball Sports Magazine back in the day, and now we have Paintball Sports Field back there. Terrific guy. Mr. Ross Alexander was my first sponsor, Line SI. I still have my original Bushmaster for my very first professional tournament when it was 15 man. And I believe it was either at Jerry's World Cup or I think it was at the Masters, at Jim Lively's Masters. And speaking of Jim Lively, there was 2 tournaments you wanted to do back in the day. One was Jim Lively's Masters. The others was Jerry Braun's World Cup. It was like going to a family reunion. These things were absolutely huge and absolutely cool, I got to tell you. And then I got to say hi to Mark Gong Jr. and Jaden Gong. Now, these are 2 of the Young Guns. Now, next week, guys, we're going to have the NXL is having a Young Guns setup down there in Florida for the World Cup. So next week, we're going to have the Young Guns on. We're going to have Mark Gong on. who actually really started the movement on this. And then we're going to have Tommy Cole's going to be on. He's actually running the NX style down there. So you're going to want to watch it. We're going to have Jamie Conley. We're going to have a bunch of people on it. It should be pretty cool. And then last but not least, I got to say hi to Gino from Belkin. Gino does an awful lot of things. He doesn't, he's not in the public bunch. His company definitely is because Belkin's pretty good size. Yeah. But and he does an awful lot for the sport. And I'm kind of grateful there that I've been on the inside with these guys for a lot of years, so I see the stuff he actually does for paintball, and it's terrific. I wish I could tell everybody about it, but he doesn't like me hooting the horn, so I just let it go. So Billy, what do you say we bring on some of these guys?
Bring them on.
You know what? And what I'm going to do, everybody, is I'm going to bring them all on, and we're just going to start talking big game and yoga. Whoa, pretty darn cool, buddy. Pretty cool. You like them moves, didn't you?
Yeah,
I was the best bar stool dancer. Anyway, I won't get into that. Once I stood up, though, I looked like the first man on the sun. But as long as I was sitting down, I could rock out. So, anyhow, I'm going to start right now, and I'm going to bring on Scott Cupcake. Okay, Scott, and I'm going to blow your last name. I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to bring on Scott. How you doing this evening, Scott?
I'm good. How are you?
Senzo?
You nailed it.
Seriously?
Yep.
Let me write that down because I don't nail them very often. Yeah, Bill knows that.
I'm just wondering how much you paid him, Fred, for him to say that.
Yeah. I have my wallet going, who's your favorite? And now I want to bring up the other general, John the Goat Hoffmeister.
That's correct, but I'm not the goat. I'm a goat. It comes from my eating habits. I'll eat it if you put it in front of me. I'm not greatest of all time. That's Michael Jordan and Joe Montana.
If there's an eating contest, I'd have to bet the farm on Bailey. I'm telling you.
Oriental buffets.
They bring out a big plate like this. We go to dinner and they set it down, and he looks up and he goes, "Is this a starter plate?"
It's gone.
So I've slowed down on that, but I've eaten some really weird stuff in my years. So.
There you go. Well, yeah, I'm going to pass on that. But so anyhow, and guys, I want to bring out Joni Mahoney. Now she does yoga, and I got to tell you, when I said I was going to have her on, I got all kinds of people got a hold of me going, "Oh, she is so cool." So how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So you're a paintball mom, huh?
I am. I'm a paintball mom. My son plays for the Montressor Marauders.
Oh, yeah, well, he couldn't play for a better group. I support the Hermans out here. They're a spin-off of the Ironmen because we've all lived together and grew up in paintball. But I support all of the kids' stuff. I think the young guns are terrific. And, they're the future of our sport. And bringing them up the right way and the respectful way, it's just only going to make the sport grow. So my hat's off to you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. So tonight, Jody, what we're going to do is, we've got these Scott and John on. They're going to have a big game, North Carolina versus Virginia. Now, how cool is that? They're playing in Virginia, too. So, boy, I got to tell you guys from Carolina, you're going to want to get your road trip on. You want to get out there and because they're playing it in Virginia. So anyhow, I am going to start real quick. I'm going to get back to you in just a second, Jody. But the first question I put to absolutely everybody that comes on my show, and Jody, you're going to get with this too, is how did you get started in paintball? So Scott, you're first up, buddy. How'd you get started in paintball?
So I'm actually fairly new to the sport. I actually started playing right when COVID started, ironically. When everything started getting shut down. I had a coworker of mine who's like, "Hey man, you've ever played paintball?" I was like, "I probably did once for like my friend's bachelor party." I was like, "Yeah, it was pretty fun." And then we started talking about things like First Strike and all that other stuff. So I was like, I'll give it a shot because during COVID, I felt like that was the only thing that you could do because it was outside. Everyone had a mask. Everyone was socially distant. So I took a trip on down to Black Ops in Fayetteville and had a blast. Then I signed up for a scenario and then it just slippery slope. Just you know, you go to one scenario, you see how awesome it is, especially when you start seeing like 100, 200, then you know the numbers kept going up every event I felt like I was going to. There's more and more people, and also they have in November in North Carolina Fold a Gap, which is like I'm pretty sure that's like one of the biggest events we have in our state, and you know, my friend hyped it up so much for me. I was like, I can't wait. And then of course, since it was 2020, you know, it was canceled, so I had to wait till next 2021 to do it, and I had a blast. So like then I through playing, I joined the Headhunters, who's a team out of Fayetteville, and you know that's my family, and like that's the one thing I will say I love about paintball is everybody's just one big family, and just being able to get on the field with those guys and gals, you know, that's what makes me want to go out and play. At first, it was just stressful leaving, you know, have fun, shoot some people, and then go home. But then it's like, oh wow, I'm making a lot of friends, making a lot of like relationships, friends, and stuff like that. So that's what kept me around.
Yep. Well, you know, you brought up a good point too. You know, if you would have went out that first time and had a bad time with a bunch of bad guys, you probably would not even be here tonight.
Correct.
So see, that's exactly what I'm talking about is the good people, they build on this sport. And I absolutely love it. John, you are up to bat, buddy. How'd you get started in paintball, my friend?
You know, the earliest thing that I remember that, and it wasn't necessarily paintball, but you'll remember the gotcha guns, not the ones we have now, but the little green plastic ones that shot the little hourglass shaped paint filled thing.
Yep.
So I lived in a neighborhood in Southern California, and a bunch of the neighborhood moms conversed before Christmas, and we got these things for Christmas. So we were running around. The lights just flashed. We were running around our neighborhood with these things and shop goggles, shooting each other. That was elementary school, and then it was a number of years after that. But there was a group of people playing down in Oceanside, and they were on the news. And like I said, I was a kid, and my dad was a Marine, I'm sorry, and we saw this newscast with these people going out and playing paintball out in the middle of somewhere in, I believe, Riverside area down in Southern California. And it sparked an interest, but I didn't get a chance to actually play for years. And then a friend found a little coupon for a local field here in town, and about 10 of us just on a whim went out there and ran around and shot at each other with they were pro lights, I believe. And the bug got me. And I played every chance I got after that, anytime I could talk friends into going. But I didn't own equipment and get serious about it until a number of years later. We started playing some outlaw ball and then started playing regularly at a field. And that all morphed into playing very regularly. And now here we are.
Very cool. Well, we're going to talk a little bit in a few minutes about the big game you guys have coming up, and it's actually coming up fast this coming weekend. So, and I want to tell everybody up front here real quick. John sent me a picture. They have a very bad storm going through his area right now. And yeah, I know. He sent me a picture, and it was absolutely incredible. So I'm hoping we don't lose his internet or anything like that. I think that's why your lights were flashing like that, John.
Yep.
Let's see if I can show this here real quick, because this is what is going through John's area right now.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, just don't have that come down south towards me.
Wow, yeah. That is pretty rough. So, but we're going to jump over real quick. I got to hear how Jody got involved in this. And then now she has her son that plays. Everybody knows, Jennifer and Frank are very good friends of mine. And very, very proud to know them. So I'm really, really glad that she hooked up with them. And I think it's going to be good for her son, too. But Jody, I want you to tell us, first of all, how did you get started in paintball? And then your second question, you get hit with a double tonight, kid. Then how did you get into yoga? So let's start with the paintball thing, please.
Okay, so for paintball, my son went to a birthday party, and he really liked paintball, so we would take him to play. And then that Christmas, he asked for a paintball gun, and we got him one. And then we would go and play like once a week. And I was at a local field, and I was walking to the bathroom, and there was a guy next to me, and he was like, Jody? And I was like, do I know you? And he was like, yeah, it's Dan Garin from high school. And I was like, oh my God, Dan. So he ended up coming over and sitting down and talking with myself and my son Matt for a while, and then he went out and played a game with Matt, and he told us about the Marauders and also the adult team that he plays for, the Misfits, and he invited us to come out to one of their practices a couple weeks later, and so we went, and it was just amazing from the get-go to be part of this community. And then Dan was going down to World Cup last November to ref, and he had a house, and he invited us to come down. And so we did. And that experience in itself was unbelievable. We met leaders in the field of paintball like B. Paxton's and Andy from Alley Remembered. And then the kids last year actually got to do 3 exhibition matches, and the pros were in the pits and cheering them on, and just going to World Cup was really amazing, and being part of the Marauders is amazing. And so it's just a lot of fun, and I love to inspire other kids to join the sport, because I can see how it helps them to, gain courage and confidence, and they learn how to lose gracefully, and they learn how to
character building.
Yes. And for us, it's been life changing to be part of this incredibly uplifting community. They say that you should surround yourself with people who lift you higher. And Absolutely. That is exactly what the community does for our whole family. When, I wake up Monday looking forward to whatever events coming up the next weekend.
Wow. Very well put. The people that, when I give my shout outs at the beginning of the show, all of these people back in the day when paintball started, because I've been working on this for a lot of years. And let me tell you, it was not as easy as it is now. Yeah, there was no stores. You couldn't just go to any store and buy something because there wasn't any stores. Most of the fields were bootleg fields because they didn't want you playing it out there. And then
muddy from that big flood too.
Yeah.
Flood.
Yeah. Well, I was the first one off the ark, buddy.
I know.
Yeah. That's because I had to roll the most. They let me go first. Yeah. So anyhow, and then we'd go around, and it was always, oh man, you guys are warmongers, and we worked our butts off. So everybody that I talk about on this list were not only just manufacturers, my sponsors. These guys worked extremely hard to make paintball an actual sport and something that is reputable. And, Jody, the way you just put it was outstanding. And, and the way, same way with Scott and John, you guys went out and you seen something and you met some terrific people. And that's what it takes. If you go out and you meet bad people, you're not going to go do it again. That's all there is to it. And you couldn't get hooked up with a better group. Frank and Jennifer, the Montressors are great. The coaches you guys have got are great. Just, you got a good organization. And that's why I push Jennifer and Frank all the time. I think they're special and very, very happy. Their son, actually, Tim, he actually was in paintball. They bought him. I had a DVD back out in the day called The Fun Of Paintball with Fred Schultz. And they actually had to buy him 2 of them because he watched the first one so much it became grainy. And they actually got him a second one. And when she told me that, it just blew me away because I just felt pretty special being a part of Tim getting into paintball. That made me feel really, really good. So now, real quick, right back to you, Jody, and the yoga thing. How'd you get into yoga?
I was living on Maui, and a friend of mine said, you should try yoga. And I took my first class. And when I left that class, I was filled with this almost indescribable, like an unbelievable feeling of happiness. And from that moment on, about 20 years ago, I just dove right in and love to practice yoga. And I love all the benefits of it. And I'm super happy to get to share it with paintball players.
Very cool. Well, I understand that you're on YouTube, right?
I am, yeah. So I had a YouTube channel. It's called Jody's. It stands for Joy. It's Jody's Online Yoga, and I've had it for a few years. But now that I'm part of this paintball community, I used to go over to my car because it's I was spending my days at the paintball fields, but I don't play. So I'll go over to my car and do my yoga, and then come back and watch the players play. And I thought to myself, these guys could really benefit from yoga. Why don't I start to share yoga with paintball players? And I actually had met Arslan from New York Extreme, and I messaged him and I asked him what he thought about it. And he said, what a great idea. Just make the videos like 1 minute long. And so that's what I've been doing.
That's exactly right. That is very, very cool. So your videos are on YouTube, right?
That's right, on my channel.
Have you considered making like maybe a 20-minute video, something that you could put on a DVD, and intertwining both paintball and yoga, showing the benefits of the kids doing the yoga before going out and playing, and then going out and playing and coming back and stretching again, and the mental feeling and everything that you get?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll add that to my list for sure. I have had a couple of people ask me for a short 5-minute warm up, like right before you play, and then also a cool down after you play or the night after when you get home. So I'm working on those, but I love the idea of combining the paintball with the yoga in one video.
So do I, because what it'll do is, like we were talking before, it'll bring people in paintball maybe into yoga and bring people from yoga into paintball.
Yes.
Yeah, and who knows, it just might help somebody playing paintball to get stretched out a certain way or get a certain mental feeling before you actually go out and play anyhow.
Absolutely.
So I think that, and what do you got to lose? Nothing.
That's right. That's right. And there's so many benefits to yoga, but one of the things is a lot of the players tell me about they have pain or tightness in their low back. And the best thing is yoga can help to strengthen your core. And if you have a strong core, then that's going to prevent low back problems. That's probably like my number one thing of ways that yoga can help paintball players. But there's a whole list of things.
Very cool. Well, I'm
this is so crazy to have this. This is so crazy to have this conversation, because at the last event that I was at, there was a group of paintball players talking, and one guy had been doing yoga and was telling us about it. And there was probably 6 or 8 that started saying, I might look into that. So this is so timely that this conversation happened.
That's awesome.
She got a hold of me a while ago, and we were chatting back and forth online. And she had mentioned, yoga for it. And I started thinking, that I'm just one of them guys. I like bringing everybody together. One of my big sayings is, individually we can do a lot. Together we can kick butt. If we all work together on paintball in many different facets, there's all different kinds of different types of people. I play with doctors, lawyers, everything, and I think the yoga would be a big thing, and just putting together a little DVD, 15, 20 minutes, I think would be absolutely cool. And like I say, Jody, what do you got to lose if you put it together? And just I'll bring you back on the show if you put it together, and we'll see if we can help solve some of them.
That's great. I'm definitely going to do it for sure.
Absolutely. We're going to talk big game in a minute, but I'd like all you guys to meet this buddy of mine. We hang out together all the time. I can't hang out with him too much because he gets me in trouble, but I love the hell out of him. So please, everybody, can you guys welcome tonight Mr. Bud Orr?
Hey guys, how you doing?
How's it going?
How you doing, Bud?
I'm doing great. Everything's good.
It looks like Tank sent you a jelly ball.
Yes, he did.
I see you got the shirt on it. Yeah.
Yeah, look at it. Oh, man. We had a ball this weekend with them shooting each other at the racetrack.
Oh, were you?
Oh, shit.
How'd Jeff do this weekend?
We lost, got 4th on Saturday and 1st place on Sunday. So.
Outstanding. Jeff races, Jeff is his son, and he races. This is a jelly ball.
It's a mini stock. Pretty good. Yeah, that's it right there.
That's it. I don't have the hopper on it. The hopper is in here. This is a hopper. Looks like a little hand grenade.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did the balls that he sent, are they amazingly small or what?
Yeah. No,
they shrink back small too.
They're yeah. There you go, Bill. They're small kind of grain of rice, and you take and you put them in a jug. These are still mine. That's how big they get. I shoot them in my studio here, and my wife never says nothing because you don't have to clean anything up. Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, because we had Tank on a couple of weeks ago. Tank was on with us and Bud, and he said he was going to send you some. And the minute I seen the shirt, I knew you got him.
Oh no, he did. I appreciate it very much. So.
Yeah, Tank's a good guy. I got my shirt over here somewhere, but I'm wearing my Field One shirt tonight. So
I hear these two guys on here are going to be generals.
Yep, I was going to introduce you to them here real quick. You know what it is, Bud? Is there? It's North Carolina against Virginia, so it's state against state. I think it's very, very cool idea for a big game.
No, that is awesome, man. I love North Carolina. That's where my best buddy's at. Ryan Newman. So
Ryan Newman, stock car racer. Yep.
My hat's off to both of you. That's a
thank you.
It's a big deal being a general, I'll tell you.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. So I'm going to jump over to Scott real quick. How did Tim get a hold of you to actually give you the honor to be the general in this?
So this event's been in the making for well over a year now. And last summer, Tim reached out to a bunch of players in North Carolina, and my name was thrown out there, and I was voted for by some players in North Carolina to represent the great state of North Carolina. So I'm very proud to be the representative to lead the charge for the state of North Carolina. And I hope I do everybody proud by going out there and showing Virginia what we got.
Well, just your attitude alone is showing everybody out there that you actually deserve to be a general. Because, Bud's been a general and a lot of them. I've been, in the past, I've been, we used to call it captains. It was never general. You're always the captain of the teams back then. But generals are cool now, I guess. But, we've all got to do that. And Bill got to do it. Bill was the general. Yep, there you go.
Dan Colby and Bud.
Yep. Absolutely. So, John, first of all, let me introduce you to Bud Orr.
Pleasure to meet you.
Same here, John. Hopefully we'll meet in person one day. So.
I hope so. We were talking in the green room before the show. I've had the chance to meet Tom and some other people over my years in the sport. And, you got some greats right here in the room right now, and it's a big honor to be on. I've been playing for quite a few years, and I know the contributions that you guys have made to the sport, and I truly appreciate it. Like I say, it's an honor to be on.
It's an honor to have you on. That's for sure. Both of you.
Thank you.
I've been there, done that, and it's not an easy task. I mean, if you want to win. So, and I see true grit in both of you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So, John, how did you get picked to be the general of your team?
So, Virginia and North Carolina share a border, and a lot of the Virginia teams go to the Carolinas. Carolina paintball is very strong. You got Black Ops, you got Command Decisions and Extreme. You got a number of really good fields down there. A lot of us were traveling down there. The CFOA tournament series and the CPXLs and paintball is very strong in the Carolinas. So we were going down there to them. And at some point through social media, some trash talk started about, the contributions that Virginia teams were making to games in the Carolinas, I think is how it started. And then the friendly back and forth, because just like in the beginning of the segment that we started talking about, you do this because you get around people that you like and you have a good time. That's the North Carolina teams. When we go down to Virginia, or when Virginia goes down to the Carolinas, we're welcomed with open arms and we have a good time. Scott and I have shared the field on numerous occasions, and his team, the Headhunters, is top-notch guys and ladies. And so the trash talk's happening, and that was kind of my comment. You know, if we do this game, we can't take anything away from these North Carolina teams. You can't sleep on them because they're bringing the fire. And as much fun as it is to talk trash about each other, I know what these teams are capable of, and that's the last thing you want to do is underestimate them, because they're going to come play hard, aggressive paintball, and then step off the field, and we're going to smile and high five. And so
that's what
I guess that comment was a little bit contrary to maybe what was going on. I'm not exactly sure, but my name was thrown out there, and I said, you know, I do it out of respect, because this game sounds like a lot of fun, and it's that family, you know, get the family together vibe, you know.
Well, you know, you two are going to be the tip of the spear for both your teams, you know, so you guys will set the tone for attitude.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that's important too.
Usually, I know that's important. Am I right, Bud?
Yeah,
that's very 100%, important.
100%.
Yeah, because usually there's only two types of generals. You've either got guys that go totally overboard and they try and recruit as many hardcore players that they can find because they just want to destroy the other team, or you have guys that just want to go and have fun. And by you calling it a game, John, you know, you're playing it as a game and not a sport. So, you know, you and Scott, I think they picked the right generals for that, because it sounds like you guys are going to have a lot of fun at this game. You know, so.
Absolutely, yeah. I wish we could be there. I think it would be a riot, to be honest with you. Yeah, and Bud Hanu got a hold of me before the show, and he said that he knows both these guys, and he said that they are both terrific guys. So, you know, Hanu, give them their blessing.
Yeah, no, I do too, man. You know, if you go out there to try to annihilate people, you're not going to have fun. If you're having fun, you know, it's almost a draw. You know, the last loss was last year, and I won 2 and lost 1, and we lost by 50 points. You know, I mean,
it wasn't very many points.
You know what? We had an absolute ball. I mean,
that's
both
what you want.
And,
but you know, being a general,
this will end up with us. We're going to go out there, and both sides are going to go at each other hard, because that's what both sides expect. We want a good game. Both sides want a good game, and that mutual respect is going to be evident.
I think that's also the cool thing about this event is we play so much together that they know our play style, we know their play style, so it's going to be a battle of who wants it more. But at the end of the day, we all know it. Like, at the end of the day, like, when you win, you lose, you went out there and you had fun, and you shared that common goal of just having fun.
And look at all the new people you're going to get to meet.
Exactly.
And you know, that to me, that is always the plus. You know, I get to go to these things, and I can't tell you, I've got a lot of friends, but you know, my best friends are paintballers. You know that? Yeah. And you know, I got a couple of them sitting on this show with me tonight right here. And you know, it's a blessing to get to know people. And when you guys do the big games, you get so many new people in there that you guys have never met before, but you're going to get a chance to meet them now. And hopefully you'll all leave as friends. And then they're going to bring in their friends next time this happens, and so on and so forth. And that's how, you know, Bud, Bill, and I have worked on building paintball for a lot of years. So I think it's terrific. I really do. And then real quick, I want to get to Jody in a minute here, but Tim's field. I understand it's a heck of a field because Joshua Silverman, which is a very good friend of mine, he's played that field before, and he said the field is terrific. You guys want to say something about it real quick?
So, staying true to the vivid story that Tim has going for this, I personally have never been on that field, but I think that's cool for the sense of the story of, we're invading Virginia for valuable resources and stuff, and I'm excited to play at that field. I want to give a huge shout out to Tim. The dude has gone above and beyond to make this event an event. Made his own props. He's in constant communication with us, coming up with all these cool ideas and bouncing it off us. So I would say, like, Tim always likes to say he's not a producer, but sometimes the best producers are players because they know what we want to see and what we don't want to see. And
absolutely, very well
He's a good host.
Yeah, I want to. If he watches this back or it gets sent to him, I just wanted to let him know that I'm truly grateful that he's putting this on, and I want to commend him for all his hard work he's put into this. That's probably why he's not here, is because he's been working so hard on getting the field set for us to come tear it up over the weekend.
Today.
Yeah. Do they have camping there?
Yes, they will have camping.
Now, when I generaled Oklahoma D-Day, I was the German general there for a lot of years. I learned that if you go around there later on in the evening to each camp, not only do you get to meet everybody, but they feed you at every camp. So, I mean, you get to try a whole spectrum of food. So it's awesome.
That's
try that. It's bring a cup and spoon.
Some of the North Carolina teams make some mean barbecue, or we do some crazy cookouts. We were up at Super Game and we did a low country boil. And then we had just players walking by and we're like, hey, we're not going to eat all this. Come take some. And they're scooping it all up and taking it back to their camp to eat. So, it's the best part about camping is all the food you can try.
Yeah, absolutely. And what that does, you made new friends too, especially if the food's good for Bill. I mean, he'll be at your doorstep. So,
yeah. Bear at Yellowstone.
There you go. Well, Bud, you've been watching the show. You notice that we've had Jody Mahoney on tonight, and Jody is her son plays for Jennifer's team, the Marauders. Anyhow, she's big into yoga, and she was talking about it. And what's really funny is John was saying earlier that he was at some big game or some field, and one of their guys was talking about doing yoga to stretch out and stuff before the game. And I told her she's on YouTube all the time right now, the way I understand it. And I told her she should make a little 15, 20-minute DVD and
100%.
And intertwine paintball with yoga. What do you think, Bud?
100%. Love it. I mean, I've done yoga. I've done all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, it's anything to relax you prior to a game or even after a game. That's when I usually want it. No, she's 100%. I'm backing her 100%.
Awesome. No,
Jody, have you ever got to meet Bud?
No, I haven't. Hi, Bud.
Well, hi, sweetie. How you doing?
I hope I get to meet you someday. Will you be down at World Cup?
Oh yeah. Well, maybe. I would like to go to all the major events or even little events, but it's so hard to travel now. It's I went back to New York. It's like $4,000. It's
that's what it costs. That's what it costs me when we go to a tournament. It's about $4,000. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I do.
But
I do
believe
believe
World Cup is one of my favorite places. I mean, it really is. I mean, for years. So hopefully I can make it. So.
What it is also, Jody, real quick, is we've got the last WCPL tournament. It's going to be the middle of October. So, that's kind of close to World Cup too. Mm-hmm. So the problem is we fly back to St. Louis and we do that because, to be honest with you, we could be gone every weekend. I can't. to tell you the invites we get, you would think we were lying. Am I right, Bud?
At
But it's
100%.
just,
Yes,
and
yes.
when I used to do this for years, for 15 years, I mean, I was only home like maybe 8 days out of a month. The rest of the time I was actually traveling for paintball. That is how much traveling I had. I had so many
Wow.
frequent flyer miles. I took my entire family. There was 7 or 8 of us, my kids and my friends and stuff, and I flew them back to Chicago to have dinner. And then we flew back here because I
Oh,
just had thousands upon thousands of frequent flyer miles,
wow.
So yeah, oh yeah, seriously, true story. My wife, she would back me up 100%. So,
That's some
but
good
anyhow,
pizza.
yeah, it is a trip. So, but now I pick and choose where I want to go. And Bud's right. It's a lot more expensive now. Costs about $4,000 to go do a tournament now. So,
Well,
but
hopefully I'll get to meet you in person at some point.
oh well, I'm
No,
looking forward to
we
it.
will. I
Yeah,
promise you, we will meet. We will meet.
That's
absolutely.
great.
So
That's
Tell
great. So
tell Bud a little bit about what you do.
yeah, so I'm a yoga teacher and a paintball mom, and I've been sharing 1-minute videos of yoga poses on my YouTube channel. But I wholeheartedly believe that if you're a paintball player and you start a regular practice of yoga, that it's just going to help you improve your game. So there's like 7 main benefits or ways that yoga can help paintball players. So the first one that you can all probably guess is that it's going to improve their flexibility, right?
that's-
Obviously,
Yep.
paintball players need to be flexible to slide into snake or, hide behind the bunkers. So it's great, obviously, for improving flexibility. And then it also can help to improve your strength, which is awesome. Obviously, you guys are athletes, right? Out there playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Use that term very loosely.
Well, I think you're athletes. And then it's,
You know,
we've got it. What we want to stay healthy and age gracefully. So
About as
There you go.
athletic as I get, right there.
there you go. So flexibility, strength. It's also yoga's going to help with our balance, right? And so you fine tune those muscles that you use to balance so that you can consistently feel like steady and stable as you're playing. And then another benefit, yoga is going to help strengthen your core, and then that is going to prevent low back injuries, which is one of the major things I hear paintball players talking about.
Jody, what you just said in the last minute, you named like 3 or 4 different things. Now, if you did a video and you explained each one of those and just showed the procedure you would do to either strengthen that, loosen it, or whatever, you could do 20 minutes in no time at all doing that, and just keep paintball involved with it, so that paintball never gets out of the sight of the yoga part of it.
So
Exactly.
you're going to World Cup this year?
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you need to do is get all the kids and everybody and do the yoga. Film as many people. Just go around from team to team and show them the yoga poses and take all the footage you can of that. And then when you get back home, and of course take some of them playing. Then when you get home, you put together about 30 seconds of the yoga, and then you throw the other 30 seconds into them playing and use that as an advertisement for your 20-minute DVD of everything that happened at World Cup involving yoga and paintball.
Yeah, that's how
love
you intertwine it. That's how you intertwine it.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
Do the
We
1
talked about Hanu earlier.
Yeah.
Hanu's a big proponent of yoga, and at the CPX events, it was at Living Legends up in Michigan. In the morning, they had a group yoga session on one of the speedball fields on the turf, I believe. I wasn't there, but I saw some pictures of it. And he and I chatted about it at one point. And if you're at Cup, you got a lot of people needing to stretch out in the morning too. So.
The thing, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help, promote Jody and her thing, because I think it would be good for paintball also.
Sure.
And, the tape I talked about, I sold 1 million copies of that tape. So I know a little bit about putting some of this stuff together.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bill.
The biggest thing that Jody's going to do by doing
I got hair in
this
that picture.
is prevent injuries. I mean,
Yes.
what she does is 100% preventing injuries. I mean,
Mhm.
amazing, especially. Oh my God, you
Absolutely.
really need it. You really
Very
need
good
it.
point. But that's a great point too. Absolutely is, because stretching out and all of that before a game or a tournament or anything like that is a big thing. You
Yep.
want to
Yeah.
stretch the muscles, because once that game starts, they're going to get stretched whether you want them to or not. So if they're pre-stretched, yeah, we all know about that, huh?
That's
So if they're
right.
pre-stretched, you're in good shape, and that's why I think, Jody, if you did it, kind of like Bill was saying too, do some filming down there, but don't do your cuts down there. Take all your stuff back home, and like you're sitting there right now, you say, now you're going to want to do this for your lower back before you go out and play, and then just give a little visual of how you would do it, and have somebody film you so you can get more of a close-up of you doing it, and
Or
Yeah.
and instead of on your phone or something like that.
or
And
even like like when players like snap off of bunkers and stuff, you can say like, okay, this is the
Oh
muscles you're
yeah.
working with that,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
then show a stretch that you can use
Yep.
to help
Yeah,
that.
the
Or
shoulders, man.
yeah,
yeah,
you
Oh
do
yeah.
that, and you put something like that together, and I'd be happy to put you back on the show and help you promote it.
Well, that's great.
Or
No, thank you guys so much for your ideas, because I've been doing the yoga, just the 1 minute clip and explaining the benefits and how it can help. But I didn't think of that,
It's all about energy, and
of
this is
the
kind of like
actual
a,
paintball
yeah,
playing.
it's, you want to do that,
Yeah.
because what you'll do is you'll get more paintballers involved. There's millions of paintballers around the world here.
Yeah.
There's not just a couple of us
Yeah.
hanging out on this
Yeah.
show. So what you want to
No,
do
it's
is
amazing. It's
you want to reach out, and there's ways to
yeah.
reach out. Bud and I, we know how to reach out, huh, Bud?
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Well,
100%.
this
Yeah,
past weekend,
little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
yeah. And this past weekend, Tyler Harmon from Houston Heat actually did a quick yoga video with me, and that one's on my YouTube channel. So yeah, people are really
Cool.
receptive and open to trying yoga. Couple other benefits though: regular practice helps us deepen our breath and then improve our focus, which we know you guys need focus when you're out there playing. And then it relieves stress, and I see it. You guys know how intense, and there's a lot of stress out there. So
Oh,
some
I'm so
stretches.
stressed right now. It's unreal.
No, really. Anyway, just a regular practice of yoga is definitely going to help improve your game if you're a paintball player, for sure.
Well,
But
my hour is just about blowing through here. But Jody, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and I would like to have you back on again. Okay.
Thank you. I would love to come back on. I'll work on my DVD, and then I'll let you know when it's done.
Well, do
Hey,
even before you get your DVD done, go ahead, and if you get some snippets of things you want to do, come back on for a few minutes and just say, hey, I've got this in the process, and this will be ready at this point in time, and this way we can help, promoting you before it actually comes out, and so when it finally does come out, we can kind of promote it to the paintball community. And then what you just did tonight is you made friends with a lot of other people that'll give you a hand. I'm sure John would give you a hand, Scott would give you a hand, Bill, Bud, myself, and that's how you get things going right now. And that's one thing that I try to do is I try to bring people together and to make paintball bigger and better, like I always say. And I think if we all got together and got behind you, I think I'll say your journey into paintball will be bigger and better.
Thank
Jody,
you.
Jody,
So I'm going to let you
if
say
need-
goodbye to everybody tonight, Jody, because you're going to be the first one to go tonight. But I want to start by thanking you so much for coming on tonight and being a guest on my show. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
Jody, if you don't feel shy about hold any of us, for sure.
Hey, real quick,
And
Fred.
I'll give you hints over 80. So
Awesome. Well, no, I am filled with gratitude. Like my whole heart is filled with joy. Thank you so much, you guys. It's so fun to meet you, and I'll definitely connect with you guys again
Just
in the
an
future. I
just-
can't wait.
Just an idea. You might get a hold of John Amadea, and he has the online paintball magazine. He could do a one-page article. You could practice on just one pose, and say, "Here it is," and then he can just put it in a page of his magazine.
Oh, I love it. I didn't even know about that. Okay.
Yeah, what I would do before that though is I would have something that a little more than the one pose, because what's going to happen is once everybody starts seeing it.
Yeah, it'd be a monthly thing though.
Yeah, but what you I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just talking about it. Yeah, I'm just talking about just a one-page thing, every month. So you could teach a different pose once a month.
Well, now
that's a possibility.
Yeah, just something quick, easy.
Great. Thank you for the idea.
Yep, no problem.
Well, right on, Jody. Well, you have a good evening. And one more time, thank you so much for being on tonight. And tell your son good luck at the World Cup, huh?
All right. Thank you. Nice to see you guys.
Yep.
Bye-bye now. All right, everybody, that was Jody Mahoney.
That's all I know about yoga. It's not
Yeah, I know. I told Bill, I go, yeah, he says, we're going to have a lady on tonight with yoga. He goes, is Mr. Ranger going to be on too? I go, no. I said yoga, not yogi.
Hey, boo-boo.
She was a great guest. She did really terrific. And I'm looking forward to giving her a hand in the future with this. I think it would be good. And she seems like a great person. So I like pushing the good people like that. I think it's terrific.
Yeah.
So, all right, John, you're next, my friend. I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody. And right up front, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. And then after the big game in the next few weeks, I want to bring you guys back on for a little segment. And I want you to tell everybody how it went and talk about maybe some of your new friends you guys made.
Yeah, that would be great. And I appreciate having us on. Again, honored to meet you guys virtually and hopefully in person one day soon. And as far as coming back on, I really look forward to that and sharing, how the adventure continues, because we've talked on several occasions about this game being the first of, and we'll see where it goes from there. I think that there's talks of Virginia, North Carolina versus X. We don't know who yet. Maybe Florida, Georgia. Maybe this game just grows. We'll see where it all goes. But again, thank y'all for having us on. And we didn't touch on the real quick. If you do decide to register, up until the 14th, is it, Scott?
Yes, the 14th.
Up until the 14th, entry is $120 with 2 cases of paint. For $120, you get your entry and 2 cases.
If somebody hasn't registered, though, they could still drop in the day of the game, couldn't they?
They can,
but they can get the 2-case deal.
Right.
Yeah. So the incentive is the 2 cases. Terrific.
Yeah. That's a crazy good deal for entry. They're really trying
free entry.
Yeah, buy 2 cases and get in for free is pretty much what that is.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much for coming on tonight, buddy, and I'm looking forward to having you back on again.
Thank you, sir. I look forward to being on.
Very good meeting you, my friend.
Looking forward to seeing you, brother.
All right,
thank you,
John.
sir.
Bye-bye, buddy.
Good night, guys.
See ya.
All right, Scott, you're up to bat, buddy. Again, let me start right off the top. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really do appreciate it. You and John both were terrific guests. You guys did Tim very, very well. I salute you guys. I really do.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody real quick.
All right. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. It was a blast. It was great seeing how happy and excited John got. And that kind of makes me happy and excited because, that's kind of what we all play the sport for.
He's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. That's why,
my kind of guys. Yeah.
Hey, Scott, how many people are you expecting for this game?
So last figures we got, there were 70 for Virginia, 50 for North Carolina. Hopefully those numbers go up. I kind of figured that North Carolina was going to have an uphill battle, but I think the people that are coming are excited for that battle, and that's going to be the best part about it is, it's kind of like digging in and going uphill.
Is this the first one?
This is the first one, yes.
Okay, yeah. See, there's no problem. If you get 200 guys the first game, it'll just get bigger every year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so that's kind
And
of
you-
the game plan.
And
Yeah.
they could always make a travel trophy and let them just challenge, another state challenge them every year.
I would love to do that. Like have a different state every time, just challenge for it, and then it's like you
Yeah.
pass the title over and have to defend
Yeah,
it.
that'd be cool.
Yep.
But
Well,
yeah.
Scott, again, I appreciate it very much. I know
Thank
you
you.
guys, you and John are both going to do Tim justice. I think you two are terrific guys. I think you're good for the sport of paintball,
Thank you.
and I'm looking forward to having you back on again.
Thank you, and I can't wait to be back on.
All right. You have a good evening, huh?
You have a great
Take it
evening
easy.
as well.
Looking forward
See
to
you, Scott.
seeing you, Scott.
All right. See ya. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Couple of great guys, huh, guys?
Oh,
Yep.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and Jody did herself really good.
Yep.
She was terrific. Yeah, I was very impressed with her.
A lot of energy for both sports. Really.
Absolutely right. And you know what it did though? You could see the energy when we were talking. You could see the energy in her and in John and Scott also. It just kind of brings everybody together. That's what I love doing. And that's why I'm so grateful for the show and grateful for Bud coming on and talking to these people and stuff. It once you feel good about something, you're going to want to go out and do it, and you're going to want to bring other people into it. And that's my whole bag, and has been for a lot of years. And so, you guys,
what Jody offers, is a necessity. I mean, especially when you get our age. I stretch every day before I even go to the field. I'm doing the yoga stuff. I mean, it's
you got to stretch. Yeah, absolutely right.
There's a lot of player attitudes that need it. Not necessarily a physical thing, but it's just a
some mental part.
Attitude.
Absolutely. Well, Bud, hey, I appreciate so much you jumping on tonight with us and saying hi to these guys, because I was talking to them in the green room and, I asked them, I go, you guys ever met Bud Orr? And their eyes got big and they're like, no. And John goes, I met him one time before, but he probably doesn't remember me. But now you'll remember John and you'll remember Scott, because those are two good guys.
Oh, they're awesome guys. Yeah. So, well, thank you for having me on. And I'm sorry a little late, but it shit happens.
You have an open invitation.
But a guy gave me a generator, so I had to talk to him about that 3 times.
Right on, brother. Tell Kathy
we
said hi, and we love you too, brother. You know that.
I love you. You do this again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Stay safe, Bud. Bye-bye.
See you, Bud.
All right, everybody, it was Mr. Bud Orr. What a great group tonight, huh?
Very good.
It absolutely was. And, and Bud coming in and talking to John and Jody and Scott, I think that's terrific. Because, people absolutely love to meet Bud. Bud is such a terrific guy. And so damn good for paintball. It's not even funny. When I say I love the guy, and I don't throw the word love around, believe me, if I say I love you, I think the world of you. And I absolutely love Bud Orr, and I love what he does for our sport too. He's a terrific, terrific person.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, Billy. Well, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to sign off.
Right,
and then I'll catch you back in the green room in a minute.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Everybody, have a good evening. We'll see you.
All right, everybody. That was Mr. William Bailey. We ran a little long tonight, but it's always hard when you got good guests on to jump around like that. So, all my guests that are still on here tonight, hang on. As soon as I'm done here, I'll pull you up in the green room. We'll talk a little bit. But I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. Remember, like I say, when we all work together, we make a big impact in our sport of paintball, and that's what we need to keep on doing. So, next week, I'm going to have the Young Guns on. You're going to want to watch that. I'm going to have some terrific people on with the Young Guns, guys that have got them really going. So please, until next week, 7 o'clock Pacific time on Facebook on Flagpole Productions, play hard, play safe, play fair, get out there and play paintball. All right, buddy.